Trump rejects Senate deal, tells Schumer to go to hell. Political drama exploded in spectacular fashion when America's 47th president delivered one of the most blistering public rebukes in recent Senate history. What was supposed to be a routine weekend of deal-making between Republican and Democratic leaders instead devolved into a full-blown political meltdown that left lawmakers scrambling for explanations. The epicenter of this chaos? A heated confrontation over President Donald Trump's nominee confirmations that ended with Trump unleashing a fiery social media tirade against Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. For those unfamiliar with how Senate negotiations typically work, here's the basic breakdown. When a president wants their nominees confirmed for various government positions, both parties usually engage in behind-the-scenes horse trading. Democrats might agree to fast-track certain nominees in exchange for Republicans agreeing to fund specific programs or make other concessions. It's political give and take that's been happening for decades, but here's where this weekend's negotiations went completely off the rails. After hours of what insiders described as tense discussions, Trump took to his Truth Social platform with a message that sent shockwaves through the Capitol. The president didn't just reject the proposed deal, he absolutely torched it, accusing Schumer of demanding over $1 billion in order to approve a small number of our highly qualified nominees. Trump's language was particularly scorching. This demand is egregious and unprecedented and would be embarrassing to the Republican Party if it were accepted. It is political extortion by any other name. Then came the nuclear moment that had political watchers doing double takes. Tell Schumer, who is under tremendous political pressure from within his own party, the radical left lunatics, to go to hell. But wait, there's more controversy brewing beneath the surface. The president didn't stop at personal attacks. He instructed Republican senators to abandon negotiations entirely, telling them to go home and explain to your constituents what bad people the Democrats are and what a great job the Republicans are doing and have done for our country. Schumer, however, wasn't about to let Trump have the last word. In what can only be described as political theater at its finest, the New York Democrat held a press conference standing next to a poster-sized printout of Trump's social media post. His counter-narrative painted Trump as an unstable negotiator who took his ball. He went home, leaving Democrats and Republicans alike wondering what the hell happened. Trump's all-caps tweet said it all, Schumer declared with obvious relish. In a fit of rage, Trump threw in the towel, sent Republicans home, and was unable to do the basic work of negotiating. And this is the part most people miss. The real stakes behind this public shouting match. What appeared to be a simple confirmation process actually involved much larger issues. Senate Democrats had been pushing for the White House to release billions of dollars in frozen National Institute of Health funding and foreign aid programs. They also wanted assurances that no future clawback packages would target these programs. In return, they were willing to greenlight dozens of Trump's less controversial nominees. Senate Majority Leader John Thune revealed that negotiators had exchanged lots of offers and that there were several different times where I think either or both sides maybe thought there was a deal. This suggests both parties were genuinely working toward an agreement before everything imploded. But here's where it gets controversial. Who's really telling the truth? Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma painted a picture of Democratic bad faith, claiming we've had 3 different deals since last night, and every time it's I want more. He suggested Democrats were never serious about reaching an agreement, and were simply positioning themselves to blame Trump for being unrealistic. Democrats fired back with their own version of events, insisting their demands never changed, while Republicans kept increasing the number of nominees they wanted across the line, and trying to sneak in more controversial partisan selections. The immediate fallout was swift and decisive. Instead of potentially confirming up to 60 nominees, all of whom had already passed through committees with bipartisan support, senators managed to vote on only 7 before heading home for their scheduled recess. The remaining nominees will have to wait until September, assuming relationships can be repaired by then. Mullen hinted at potential retaliation, noting that rule changes to the confirmation process were now going to happen when lawmakers return. Schumer warned this would be a huge mistake and urged Trump to work more collaboratively with Senate Democrats, especially with another government funding deadline looming in September. They should stop listening to him, Schumer said of Republican senators. If they want to do what's good for the American people, they shouldn't be in blind obeisance to Donald Trump. So here's the million-dollar question that has political observers split. Was Trump right to blow up negotiations he saw as extortive, or did he torpedo a reasonable compromise that could have moved his agenda forward? Some argue Trump showed strength by refusing to be held hostage by Democratic demands for unrelated spending. Others contend he displayed poor negotiation skills by walking away from a deal that would have confirmed dozens of his nominees while maintaining his political base. What do you think? Did Trump make the right call by telling Schumer to go to hell, or should he have swallowed his pride and taken the deal? And more importantly, what does this political explosion tell us about how the next few months of governance will unfold? The answers to these questions could shape not just Trump's ability to staff his administration, but also set the tone for every major legislative battle ahead. One thing's certain, this weekend's meltdown has made September's return to Washington infinitely more interesting. Trump to Schumer. Go to hell. Senate nominee clash erupts as negotiations collapse. Imagine a scenario where the leader of the free world tells a prominent senator to go to hell. It sounds like the plot of a dramatic movie, but unfortunately, it's the harsh reality of the current state of politics in the United States. After hours of intense deliberation over President Donald Trump's stalled nominees, tensions between Senate Democrats and the White House reached a boiling point on a Saturday evening, culminating in a shocking outburst from the president. In a scathing post on Truth Social, Trump instructed Republicans not to make a deal with the Democrats, who he claimed were making egregious and unprecedented demands in order to approve a small number of our highly qualified nominees. But here's where it gets controversial. Trump's nominees have been met with significant resistance from Democrats, who argue that they are historically unqualified and deserve historic levels of scrutiny. And this is the part most people miss: the fact that the Senate has now embarked on its month-long August recess, leaving the fate of these nominees hanging in the balance. Democrats have largely denied fast unanimous consent votes regarding Trump's nominees, instead opting for roll calls, which has led to a stalemate. Addressing the Republican Party's complaints over this, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said, "Historically bad nominees deserve historic levels of scrutiny. We have never seen nominees as flawed, as compromised, as unqualified as Trump's." Schumer also addressed Trump's social media commentary, during which the president instructed Republicans to go home and called for Schumer to go to hell. But what's really going on here? Is this a case of political posturing, or are there genuine concerns about the qualifications of these nominees? The lack of progress ahead of the August recess comes after Senate Majority Leader John Thune accused Democrats of deciding to slow-walk every single civilian nomination from the president. Thune said that in recent history, presidents have had the majority of their nominees approved by unanimous consent or voice vote, but that 0 of Trump's civilian nominees had been confirmed by those means by Democrats this Congress. Thune vowed that Republicans would figure out a way to change it if there's no progress moving forward. But here's the thing. Some GOP senators have aired ideas for alternative ways to advance Trump's nominees, including the use of recess appointments. Recess appointments refer to when a president can make temporary appointments when the Senate is not in session, according to the Constitution. It enables a president to appoint their chosen nominees without Senate confirmation. Shortly after his election in November, Trump spoke out in favor of recess appointments, saying that any Republican senator seeking the coveted leadership position in the United States Senate must agree to recess appointments in the Senate, without which we will not be able to get people confirmed in a timely manner. Later that same month, Thune said that all the options would remain on the table to help the advancement of Trump's picks. But is this a power play by the president, or a legitimate attempt to get his nominees confirmed? There have also been reports that GOP senators could, at some point, seek to change the Senate rules in order to confirm more Trump nominees. Amid discussions surrounding this earlier in the week, Senator Alex Padilla of California, a Democrat and ranking member of the Senate Committee on Rules and Administration, urged caution, saying, "We can and should have thoughtful, bipartisan conversations in the Rules Committee on updating the confirmation process for the future. But Republicans should keep in mind that if they choose to go nuclear yet again, it will have consequences long beyond Donald Trump's presidency." So, what do you think? Should the president be able to use recess appointments to get his nominees confirmed? Or is this a dangerous precedent? Should the Senate change its rules to accommodate the president's picks? Or is this a power grab by the GOP? Let us know in the comments.